Well, if you or a loved one has ever gone through chemotherapy, you know that the last thing you feel like doing while you're in treatment is eating. And that's why our next guest has created a cookbook especially for cancer patients. Take a look.
Like many cancer survivors, Holly Clegg's father, Jerry, had to withstand the side effects of chemotherapy: nausea, weakness, dizziness. So Holly came up with tasty and nutritious recipes to help her dad cope with the treatments. It worked. Today she has a new cookbook, Eating Well Through Cancer. All the recipes can be prepared in less than 30 minutes. And as a bonus, the ingredients she uses also help reduce the risk of developing certain types of cancers.
Well, Holly Clegg is with us today. The book is called Eating Well Through Cancer. It's so pretty and it's got wonderful recipes in it. Where did you come up with the concept of needing to do a book like this?
Well, first of all, I love to eat and I love food. And my co-author, an oncologist, Dr. Gerald Militella, said the number one question he's asked is, what can I eat? So I started doing my research, and there's really nothing out there that tells you, unless you're a physician and complication. And then, of course, my dad was diagnosed with larynx cancer, and it became very, very personal to me. There's a lot of books out there that tell you what to do to prevent cancer, but there's nothing that tells you what to do when you have cancer.
And having it in the treatment that often is a part of that really does affect your eating in many ways. I mean, first of all, you do need to eat healthy and know what you should be eating. But you said something in the book that I hadn't even thought of, that sometimes you can get sores in your mouth.
Oh, absolutely. You know, Terry, there's a lot of different cancers, and everybody is treated differently and everybody responds differently. The common denominator are the side effects, and sore mouth, of course, is one of them. And so the book's divided into the different side effects, and it shows you the foods that are best tolerated and that ease the symptoms. So I want you to enjoy food, and as you'll see from what we're going to make today, you don't have to have cancer to eat out of this book, but if you have cancer, everybody's going to be able to enjoy what you're preparing.
And it's quick.
Quick. Oh, that's rather, I always say whether you don't feel well or you don't have enough time, you need easy recipes. And all mine are very pantry-friendly, user-friendly, and time-friendly because, you know, my goal is to show you that you can put a healthy meal on the table in around 30 minutes. And whether, you know, if you're feeling bad, but it does make a difference which foods you eat. And I think that's what's so important.
So was your dad kind of a guinea pig for this?
Unfortunately so.
But he's doing well, right?
Oh, my dad's doing wonderful. He, you know, he talks with an artificial larynx, and actually it was he's 77. Sorry, Daddy, I'm telling your age. But he had me I'm real young, of course. But, you know, he had the cancer. It was diagnosed on his 70th birthday. And I said, we are having a birthday party. So the sore mouth section, you know, I tested many of those recipes because when you have head and neck cancer, of course, your sore mouth. But
even more, sure.
You know, the book is divided into side effects, and I've learned, you know, not everybody experiences the same side effect, or your side effects come and go. But hopefully this has made such a difference that people can enjoy food, their family can enjoy what they're eating, and it's important, nutrition is important, and staying eating healthy.
And even though your dad was dealing with the cancer that had to do with this portion of the body, working with a doctor who's an oncologist on this allowed you to address side effects that everybody might experience no matter what kind of cancer they might be dealing with.
Absolutely. Dr. Militella was wonderful, and I did a survey in his office because I thought everybody wanted Jell-O, everybody wanted chicken soup, you know, because fortunately I wasn't familiar, but nobody wanted Jell-O, nobody wanted chicken soup. They wanted food with flavor.
Well, let's talk about what you've got here, because these are wonderful muffins, but there's a purpose for all of this.
Right. These are sweet potato, apple, and walnut muffins, just made with a can of sweet potatoes. You can use fresh, but of course my Louisiana yams are the very best. Apples and raisins. So this is actually in the constipation section. We'll call it the high fiber section. And these
but
recipes,
sometimes when you're taking painkillers, which are often a part of that, it can cause this.
Absolutely. And that's why I have devoted a section just to all higher fiber foods. And that is one of the side effects that we have.
These look wonderful. A great way to start. So this is breakfast,
Breakfast.
Right?
That could be for breakfast. And that's what we're sort of showing today, that we're going to show breakfast, lunch, dinner, and of course dessert. And really, everybody out there could say, oh, this looks good. I'm going to make this for lunch today. I'm going to make this. So just because you have cancer, you don't eat differently. It just is important what you eat.
Okay, this is tuna?
Yes, this is a tuna salad. It's absolutely wonderful. It has mandarin oranges in it. Has a light dressing with a little lemon and yogurt and sour cream, you know, the fat-free. This is in the day of chemo section because when you're experiencing that time, you want lighter foods, low-fat foods. Let's say if nothing tastes good and only one or two things taste good, just eat those over and over. A lot of times breakfast items are more comforting at that time, but it's so important that you eat a light, lower-fat meal. If you eat, and that's when I said, the regular recipes in there, but it is important to know that foods make a difference, what type of foods that you do eat.
Before we reveal the finale of this, let's talk about what you're putting together here. This would be the dinner, right?
This is our dinner, and it's actually in the high protein section. Now, I think a good point here is I've used ground sirloin, because sirloin is your leanest cut of meat. So it's still, I believe in cooking healthy, even though if you have cancer, people say, oh, I can't eat or just eat anything. Right. You want to make those calories count. So this is just ground meat. Actually, this is one of my family's favorite chili recipes. It's like 6 ingredients. It's so simple to do. So we sauteed our meat. We're going to add a little chili powder. And this is a little cumin. Adds that little smoky flavor. I happen to like cumin. And then we could do, well, we can do this. This is your seasoned beef broth. Oh, okay. But if you want to watch your sodium, you could also use low sodium beef broth. We're just going to pour all this in. One thing great about the book also, it has, make it up a little higher. It has little freezer-friendly symbols by all your freezer-friendly recipes, because a lot of times you want to make things ahead or freeze them or double or triple. And I always say you're eating with nutrition when you eat with color. So we're just going to pile our ingredients in. Corn, and these are some pinto beans. You always want to use canned beans, but you want to drain and rinse them. Okay. And you can use whatever. And this is just salsa, a jar of salsa. Now, how easy can this get? And your salsa has all your seasoning in it. Half a cup of salsa equals 1 serving of vegetables. So you can see this is packed with nutrition, flavor.
And then you just cook it down, cook the juice down in that a little bit. And
you just cook it a little bit, and you could see how delicious it is. And this comes in our high protein section.
Look at this.
Yeah, it's really good. And, you know, the salsa sort of gets a little spunk to it.
That's awesome.
And you can use different flavored salsas sort of to create your own recipe.
Can I put some in here and taste this?
Absolutely. Great. You were going to want more, I can promise you on that. I always say the proof is in the tasting, so we'll see.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Well, and it's very easy. As I pointed out, I think it's also very important that you have ingredients in your house. In fact, I put a shopping list in each chapter sort of as a guide to tell you what to keep when you're experiencing the different side effects.
I want to show the piece de resistance because everybody likes dessert. Even
everybody, and I always have room for dessert.
Isn't this pretty?
Now,
this is light. This is something you could eat and not feel like you were indulging.
Right, I like a good dessert. This actually is from the caregiver section, and there's a section I included that because everybody has a caregiver, and it's what you want to do. Look, I've done a foil pan, so when you're bringing something to someone, you want it maybe that it could freeze in disposable pans. You don't want to have to say, give me my dishes back.
Exactly, it makes it easy for the person that you're bringing it to.
And maybe even bring some fun napkins or something, just a little flowers with it, just to, brighten it up.
You know, Holly, there's so much more in the book, as you know, but we want you to know that it's such an informative book, whether you're dealing with this in your own family or you have a friend going through it. This book is available nationwide. We want to let you know that we have a free fact sheet for you called Food That Fights Cancer. We'd love to get that to you. The number to call is 1-800-716-FACT. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
And the whole studio smells good.
We're going to eat. We're going to have a good meal.
Thank you.